This video was created by 3 Appalachian State students in the span of 3 weeks. Enjoy the stories of Tomas Delgado, Dalen Mickle, and Zach White as they share their experiences of Appalachian State so far.
First, I'm a junior. I'm communication, electronic media, broadcasting major. This is my minor in media studies, and I'm 20 years old. I'm from a small town in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Kind of grew up there since I was 8 years old. And my family's kind of has a military background. My dad was originally stationed in Texas, near Fort Worth. But after we moved, we settled in Fayetteville to be closer to family. And then from there is where I kind of just grew up here. Oh yes, definitely. I went on a family trip in 2018 and we went to Six Flags, saw medieval times. We saw a rodeo session and we just had a great time. We went to the Galleria Mall, just like this 5-story mall in Texas. So cool. I would definitely go back. I'm actually contemplating living there after graduation one day. So my choices were UNCP, UNC Charlotte, and App State. And I was rejected by UNC Charlotte for not having good enough grades. But then App State accepted me, and I was like, I just like the mountain area a little bit more, so I was like, I'll go there instead. No, there were no schools out of state that I wanted to apply to just because they were really expensive, but I was considering UNCW at one point because they had a film studies major, which was what I was looking for. But other than that, I was kind of just committed to App essentially. So I was originally undecided because I have a lot of interest. I like astronomy, history, martial arts, theater, all sorts of things like that. So I was trying to think of what major would essentially encompass all of those things where I could make videos on or like kind of instructional videos, things that could just encompass the whole field essentially. And I found communication, electronic media, and broadcasting, and then I saw that they had video production based classes, which was like exactly what I was looking for because I've always been interested in movies for a long time. So I've always just kind of naturally been drawn into martial arts films. I've always liked seeing fighting and stuff of that nature. And so I just wanted to kind of challenge myself to see if I could essentially learn how to do something like learn how to fight or basic self-defense, which is I say a pretty important skill to have. I plan to hopefully be a television producer or choreographer for fight scenes or things of that nature. I would ideally like to live in either Raleigh, Charlotte, or Texas due to I generally like the city a lot and they have some good film industries out there. If I'm unable to find a job within those cities, I would preferably go to the school named the University of North Carolina School of the Arts and go for a more direct film major because it's a school of filmmaking.
My name is Dalen, D-A-L-E-N. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, and that's like in the middle of South Carolina if you don't know. And I grew up with my mom mostly growing up until she got married, and then I've had my brother for he's turning 13 next month. And we grew up really big Clemson fans, so we've been in Clemson a lot, so I'm familiar with the area up there. And then football's also been a big part of my life, so everything that revolves around football and just sports in general. Just going to the games a lot and just watching it on TV, that was like my main sport, just what I gravitated towards too. And I just like the energy at the games, just how it feels. And then when I started playing, it just felt good just playing. Well, when I finished high school, I didn't have that many offers. We had a terrible season my senior year, so a lot of people didn't get a lot of looks. But I ended up going to Wingate University on a preferred walk-on. And so I played there my freshman and sophomore year, and then I ended up transferring from there after my sophomore year, my redshirt freshman year, because of the coaching staff and stuff like that. Well, I had a friend that had just transferred up here. He played at Georgia Military College, and I wanted to keep playing football, so he told me to come up here and then I could try and walk on here. And so then I was just like, okay, I have a friend up here, I can come stay with him. And so then we just decided to try and make it work up here. Well, my major at Wingate was sports communications, so it kind of went hand in hand with each other. And I knew that with the EMB major, I could still do what I wanted to do, be on TV and things like that. My minor is in coaching, which is something I don't plan on using, but if the opportunity presented itself, I wouldn't mind going and coaching somewhere. After college, I would like to work for ESPN or Fox Sports or something like that. I really grew up watching College Game Day a lot, and so that's kind of where I wanted to be at. So working for ESPNU or SEC Network and just being on TV and talking college football, that's something I really would love to do. Going off of that, I'd probably live in the Charlotte area, Rock Hill area, just something around there, but I would like to move to like Miami or somewhere like that that also does the same thing, just somewhere different and fun. I transferred like right when COVID hit, so I got to campus and all classes are online, so it was like harder to meet people. So just like make your decision wisely and look at all the circumstances.
So I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I actually grew up in Charlotte my whole life, and I went to college my first year in Pennsylvania, but then transferred to App State shortly after. Some of my interests are photography, skiing, snowboarding. I play video games a lot. I like hiking, just being outside. I chose to come to App State primarily because the weather and the location. I just love the mountains. And in terms of a prior school before coming here, I actually went to a private school in Pennsylvania called Robert Morris University, and I went there for 1 year before transferring here as a sophomore. What inspired me to choose EMB is actually because of how hands-on it was and just creativity-based. I really enjoy just not necessarily sitting and reading and writing. I like being able to express my skills and abilities through my work, pretty much. I'm a media studies minor, and I chose this because I like studying patterns of the media and stuff like that, and just the professors and classes offered here at App State are really cool. For example, like John Henson and Mr. Goodman, those are great people. Since I've been at App State, I've actually been involved in App TV, and more specifically Pixel Peak, which that was just the first time last semester. I was a PlayStation analysis, and I was a show writer for Pixel Peak. The most beneficial and at the same time class I would take again since being here is this class actually called Electronic Media News Writing. And the reason I say that is because not only is the professor just really good in terms of experience and passing down his wisdom, but the things that we do in class is just really beneficial to something that I would do in a career, such as like writing news stories and news packages and picking apart news stories and all that pretty much. Two skills that I've gained coming to App State were definitely just kind of increasing my weak points, which kind of one of them is just being in front of the camera like I am right now, and also working with a camera. My skills have grown exponentially just being able to get far more field experience, I would say, since being at App State, because before then it was just a lot of classroom stuff. After graduation, I hope to get a job maybe at like a news channel or something like that, maybe like a news photographer. And I also hope to still live in the mountains somewhere close by just because I love the North Carolina mountains.